All right, let's talk about one of the most expensive mistakes that I see organizations make. And it's this: they get so obsessed with functional excellence that they forget what actually matters, which is delivering value to customers. You've probably got this too. A brilliant engineering team that writes beautiful, scalable code, a sharp product team creating detailed, well researched requirements, a thorough QA team that catches every bug. On paper, you've got all the ingredients for success, but somehow, simple features take months to ship. And why is that? It's because you've created beautifully organized silos that are brilliant at their individual functions, but absolutely terrible at working together. And here's what's really happening: dependencies are piling up like cars in rush hour. Teams spend more time coordinating with each other than actually building things. And when something finally does get delivered, it often misses the mark because the customer need, got lost somewhere in the handoff chain. This is the hidden tax of functional structures. Every handoff is a toll booth. Every coordination meeting is a speed bump. Every let me check with the other team is a delay of some sort. And here's the kicker: while you're stuck in this coordination hell, your competitors are shipping. I mean, they're capturing market share. They're solving customer problems. They're moving fast while you're moving not so fast. So the brutal truth here is that most organizations optimize for internal convenience rather than customer value. And that is a recipe for irrelevance as a business. So let's paint a picture of how this typically works. A simple UI change, something that should take a day, suddenly requires input from design, approval from product, implementation by engineering, and validation by QA. And what should be a straightforward fix becomes a week-long coordination exercise. And that's if everybody is available and aligned. And if they're not, well, add another week or two. The problem isn't the people. They're all doing their jobs brilliantly. The problem is the structure. You've optimized for functional purity instead of value delivery. And functional purity is the enemy of speed. So what's the fix? Well, stop organizing around what you do and start organizing around what you deliver. Instead of having separate engineering, product, and design teams that work across all features, create cross-functional teams that own entire customer value streams. Each team becomes like a mini company, responsible for everything from idea to customer impact. And this isn't just about reshuffling people, it's about fundamentally rethinking how work flows through your organization. Let's look at exactly how to do this. I'm going to expand my list here. Step one is to define your core value streams. These are the primary paths through which your product delivers value to the customer. For a software company, this might be user onboarding, it might be core feature usage, billing and payments, customer support. For a game studio, it might be player acquisition, gameplay progression, monetization, retention. And here's the key: these aren't internal processes, they're customer journeys. You want to map how customers actually experience your product, not how your internal teams are organized. Then map how work currently flows through your organization to support these streams. Where are the handoffs? Which teams need to get involved? How long does it typically take from idea to customer impact? This gives you your baseline and shows you where the friction is. Now, step two is to restructure teams to align with these value streams. This is where you need to be bold. Create cross-functional teams that own entire value streams end to end. Each team should have all the skills that they need: product thinking, technical execution, design sensibility, quality assurance. And of course, this doesn't mean that every team needs a full-time person in every role. Small teams might have people wearing multiple hats, but the principle is the same. Minimize the handoffs and dependencies that are required to deliver value. And the goal is simple. If a team wants to improve their part of the customer experience, they shouldn't have to negotiate with 3 other departments to make it happen. All right, step 3. Give these teams mandates based on customer outcomes, not internal metrics. So instead of increase conversion rates, try reduce time to first value for new users. Or instead of ship 3 new features this quarter, try improve core user engagement metrics. This shift changes everything about how teams think and prioritize. When you're accountable for customer outcomes, you start thinking like a business, not a feature factory. Use OKRs or whatever framework you prefer, but make sure the objectives reflect customer value, not just internal efficiency. Step 4. Your meetings and metrics need to evolve with your structure. Replace function-based stand-ups with value stream-focused reviews. Instead of separate engineering, product, and design updates, have unified reviews focused on how each value stream is performing. Shift your metrics from functional efficiency to flow efficiency. Stop measuring how many features engineering shipped or how many user stories product defined, and start measuring how quickly value flows from idea to customer impact. Track cycle time, lead time, customer satisfaction within each stream. This keeps teams focused on what matters, delivering value, not just completing tasks. And then step 5, don't reorganize for the sake of reorganizing. Use actual delivery pain points to guide your restructuring decisions. If teams are constantly blocked by cross-functional dependencies, that's a signal. If customer feedback consistently highlights disconnected experiences, that's another signal. The goal isn't to create the perfect org chart, it's to reduce the friction that prevents you from delivering value effectively. So start with your biggest pain points and work your way down. Avoid the temptation to reorganize for vanity. Only change structure when it solves real problems. Look, traditional functional structures were designed for a different era, when efficiency mattered more than agility and when coordination costs were acceptable because change was slower. But in today's world, competitive advantage comes from speed of execution and customer focus. The companies that win are the ones that can identify needs quickly and deliver value effectively. So stop optimizing for internal convenience and start optimizing for customer value, because that is what actually matters.